I want to walk you through why I now use SureCart, or why I actually have used SureCart now for quite some time, and go through the features that helped me make the decision to move to SureCart from all of the other tools and options that are out there. I want to preface everything by saying that just because I'm using SureCart doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with any of the other tools that you're using. For example, I still highly recommend ThriveCart. I think it's a fantastic tool and actually right for a lot of people. I think WooCommerce with cart flows can be another great solution if you're looking to build a checkout setup for your website, digital products, or membership. However, where I'm at with my business and the needs that I have inside of my workflow and the features that I'm looking for, they're not available in any of these other tools. So that's why I'm using SureCart. And I want to walk you through each of these features just briefly, just to introduce them so that you can get an idea for what SureCart has to offer for you and you can decide if it's worth making the switch for your business in the future. The way that SureCart handles subscriptions is phenomenal. With just a couple clicks, you can enable upgrades, downgrades, and cancellations and control how that happens. And you can control when the cancellation and when the downgrade happen. So, another way to phrase this is that when you have a customer who has a subscription active, a membership, or like a digital product where you charge like a yearly fee to have access to that. Well, on a tool like ThriveCart, let's say that they halfway through their billing term, they cancel their subscription because they don't want it to renew next year. That's pretty common, right? We all do that. Well, in ThriveCart, the minute they cancel, the cancellation trigger is sent. And when the cancellation trigger is sent to a tool that manages that subscription or manages the access that they're given, for example, their access is terminated. So if you're just using the default ThriveCart, and I use Thrive Apprentice, so I'll use that as an example here. So if you're using the ThriveCart and Thrive Apprentice integration, if they cancel halfway through their billing term, they lose access immediately. And to avoid that, you have to do some complex Zapier setup where you create a date on a Google Calendar. It's a nightmare. I have a video about it here on the channel if you're really interested. But with SureCart here, you can easily manage all of that. And I just want to walk you through this really quick, what you're seeing on the screen. So for upgrades, downgrades, and cancellations, you can manage how your store handles them. So, for example, I like to choose that downgrades happen the next billing period. So, let's say I'm on an annual plan, annually for, let's just make up a number, $500. And I want to downgrade to the monthly plan, which is, let's say, $50 a month, because I don't want to pay $500 all at once. Well, what you can do in SureCart is let your customer, and this is actually going to be another one of the reasons I like SureCart, which we'll go over later, but you can let them basically downgrade on their own, but the downgrade does not happen until the end of that year. They've already paid for the year. They're going to have access for the whole year. They're not like losing access to the year they paid for and then moving to the monthly plan right now, right? They're going to move at the end of that year. So next billing period. Upgrades, however, and this is so cool, upgrades can happen immediately. Let's say that I'm on the monthly plan and I'm paying like $50 a month and I want to upgrade to the $500 annual plan. Well, it's easy. I just literally upgrade and it prorates the difference. So let's say today I paid $50 for the month and then I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I regret that. I wanted to be on the annual." I can literally upgrade to the annual plan immediately and only pay the difference of $450. So cool, completely unique here to SureCart and how it integrates with everything. I haven't seen that anywhere else. And then kind of like what we mentioned here, we talked about downgrades, kind of in the same idea as cancellations, but cancellations I've set up to happen the exact same way. They happen the next billing period. So if I'm on that example of that $500 a year program and I cancel halfway through my term, I won't lose access because SureCart manages the subscription and won't send that cancellation signal out via their API to anywhere until the end of the billing term or the next billing period. And so you can see here I can drop down. You have choices between immediately or next billing period on all of these options. So I think this right here is one of the main reasons why I love SureCart, because this particular feature is so powerful if you have any type of subscriptions, recurring revenue model inside of your business. Similar to the subscription settings that we just looked at, another feature I love is the subscription saver and cancellation insight system. It's kind of a mouthful. Essentially, have you ever seen it when you have an active subscription somewhere and you go to cancel and something comes up that says, "Hey, why are you leaving?" And you say the price is too high and it offers you a discount, or you say, I don't need the service anymore and it just asks you to leave some comments. Well, That system exists right inside of SureCart, and it's so easy to enable. So they just let you turn it on, and then you can customize pretty much all the reasons here. So I've just put up a few examples. It's like a survey, right? So you can have them choose whatever you want. In this case, I've put in like the price is too high. And if they choose that option here, I've chosen to offer them a discount and I don't want to request their comments. And we'll show you that discount here in a second. You can choose other options. You can create your own. So you can just click add new, type anything you want. You can say something like, I'm not an entrepreneur anymore. I'm done. And you can request comments and you can say, can you tell us a little more? Or you can say, why did you make that decision? And it adds it to your little prompt right here as an option. And you can drag and drop these in whatever order you want. And then you can change the appearance of this, the title and the description, or add a link, like a skip link that says, you know what, on second thought, I don't want to cancel anymore. That's super powerful. And let me show you what that looks like here. When they go to cancel this subscription in the portal, which is another thing I love and we'll go over in a second, this little window comes up and they can choose, well, the price is too high. And if they click price is too high and they click continue, it'll come up and show them a little window that lets them choose to get a discount instead of canceling. So let's look at that down here. You just look at the renewal discount and you can choose to offer them a percent discount or a fixed discount. You can choose whatever percent or whatever fixed amount that you want. You can choose a duration, like this is an ongoing forever 15% discount, or you could say something like, what if I offered you a 15% discount off of next year's subscription? So in that example we ran with earlier, I could say like, well, what if I offered you a 20% discount? It's only $400 instead of $500 for the next year. A person could take that or say no thanks. And then you can customize all of it, right? You can say the amount of times a single customer can get the renewal discount, once or twice or whatever. And then you can customize all the text here and use some merge tags to get some dynamic data pulled in so that it's dynamic to the user that's filling it out. And again, customizing the buttons. And here's what that looks like. You can say, take our example here. It says, take 15% off your next payment. We'd be happy to offer you 15% off, blah, blah, blah. And then you can say, yes, I'll take it or no. This is such a cool feature. It's one of the things that I really love. It's kind of, I want to say outside the box, even though it's an existing feature elsewhere. So it's not like it's a brand new thing that no one's ever done before. But I just really like the fact that it's just so easy to implement in a WordPress-based solution for a digital product and membership business run by solopreneurs like you and me, right? It's very easy to implement and get going. I mean, it took us like 2 minutes to show you the whole thing, and that's it. I absolutely love this feature. Cart abandonment I think it's a super important feature inside of any digital product business, and it's working incredibly well for me. And cart abandonment in and of itself is available in tools like Cartflows. It's certainly available in ThriveCart, but the way in which they do it is nowhere near as good as the way that SureCart does. So that's why I love this particular feature here. So I want to take just a very quick look at this feature in general. And it's as simple as just toggling on and saying, yes, I want to use it. And I want to send out the first, second, third email on basically this cadence. So you can choose that. You can choose days, hours, weeks for all of these. You can enable discount settings. I actually used these and I did like an A/B test. I used the discount settings and I measured the success of my cart abandonment. And I think it was like at like a 12 to 15% recovery. I turned it off. I turned off the discount settings and my cart abandonment went up to 25%. I'm actually going to put up on the screen right now my last week's cart abandonment recovery. I recovered like nearly $1,200 at a 25% recovery rate. There's no discount. I don't have any discounts available. So this works for me. I don't need to offer a discount. It's working. And I don't think you should either unless you feel like it's a big part of your business. But let's take a look at the discount settings in case you want to, because this is where things get cool. And again, you don't have to use it. It's still cool. It still works. It's seamless. You just toggle a thing on and it works versus having to go into all these other programs and do all kinds of other additional settings. You just turn it on right here and it works. So again, toggle on the discount section and you can choose similar to the subscription saver feature, a percent or a fixed discount. And then you can choose whether you want to give it once or forever or repeating. And then you can choose when do you offer them the discount. Is it on that first email? Maybe not, right? That first one might just be you left something in your cart. The second one might be, are you still interested? And the third one might be, what if a discount pushed you over the edge? Would you want that? And so it's like a coupon, right? It's a discount that they can apply directly to the cart. They click it, they go right back, and they get the discount applied. You don't have to do any setup. You literally, I mean, look how easy it is. Toggle it on, check 2 boxes, check 3 settings, and you're good to go. And then, of course, they have GDPR stuff, also some advanced settings for you to be able to enable in test mode. And this one right here, down at the bottom, yeah, good, you can see it. I want to make sure I wasn't covering it up. The ignore purchased products option. Let's say they already bought your membership, and then for some reason they went back to your sales page to see what you're charging now, and they looked at it, and they were logged in. If you don't toggle that on, then they're going to get an email that offers them potentially a discount, and that might be awkward. But you can just turn on ignore purchase products and don't create abandoned checkouts if all the products have been purchased already. I think that's an awesome feature. So in general, this is just as robust as any cart abandonment system out there. It's certainly way better than ThriveCart's, because ThriveCart just enables cart abandonment with the behavior rules. So you're having to integrate with other tools, and at best, you can offer a generic discount that's not unique to the person or the product. And then with WooCommerce and CartFlows, they have a cart abandonment plugin, and it's actually pretty decent. Interestingly, it's made by the same people that make SureCart, but it's not quite as robust as this. So I'm a big fan. I think that the cart abandonment features inside of SureCart work so well right out of the box. And as you saw, they're working really well for me. One feature that I really like about SureCart is the ability for the customer to create their actual login while they're checking out during the checkout process. When I was using ThriveCart previously, what happens is with ThriveCart is the checkout process happens. It sends a signal over to, in my case, Thrive Apprentice that I was using for my courses and digital products, and the login is created for the user, and then they get a separate email with their username and their password. There's technically nothing wrong with that. It works perfectly, and for me, it worked for over 2 years, no problem. However, I really like the idea of the user creating their own login, creating their own account, and then I can basically have one less email that has to go out to the customer. And it's just a nicer workflow for me. I actually really like that the user can stay logged in on the website, and when they go to purchase another product, they're already logged into their account, so they don't have to enter the information again. It knows who they are, and it just feels like a seamless, cohesive, integrated setup. If you're using another system like WooCommerce, it's no different. You can do the same thing in WooCommerce and CartFlows. However, this plays into another component of this setup in SureCart that I like, which we'll go over in just a little bit here about the user experience of the customer dashboard and how it's all integrated. So I wanted to include this in my reasons for using SureCart because it was part of the decision-making process for me when I was deciding, is it time that I move off of ThriveCart into something like SureCart? And it was just one more pro that I could put in the pro column for that transition for me. While I'm on this page, I might as well include the fact that SureCart integrates seamlessly with Thrive Architect as the page builder. Integrates just fine with other page builders too, using shortcodes just like it does with Thrive Architect. This page itself was built using Thrive Architect, and this checkout experience I think is fairly seamless. I have a video or two here on the channel where I show how easy it is to use Thrive Architect, practically all Thrive Suite, with SureCart, and later in this video, I'm also going to go over some of the integration components that I think work really well, which were part of my decision. Again, just another pro in the pro column for moving over to SureCart. But while I was on here, I thought I'd mention that it works great with Thrive Architect. If you like everything that you've seen so far, I think now's a good opportunity to tell you that I do have a course called Thrive with SureCart that goes over not only everything that you've seen here in a little bit more detail, but all of SureCart, the complete setup process, all the nuances, some of my personal approaches, tips, and tricks. And you can get that course completely for free if you are not yet a SureCart customer. I have an affiliate link with a bonus that I give this course to you completely free as part of purchasing it through my link. It's kind of like my thank you to you for using my affiliate link, and I get that commission at no extra cost to you. So if you're interested in learning more about SureCart and you're already considering at this point in the video, maybe SureCart is right for me, maybe transitioning from another tool like ThriveCart or WooCommerce and CartFlows, this would be a good business decision for me, then I encourage you to check out my course. I'll put a link in the pinned comment and the description below where you can learn more about the course and decide if that bonus of getting that course for free would be a good incentive for you to check out SureCart. I think that second on my list, maybe the second thing I love most about SureCart and what was a big decider in me moving over from ThriveCart is this customer, what they call a customer dashboard, my account page, customer hub. You can call it whatever you want. It's essentially the place where the user can manage their account, where they can see their orders, their downloads, all of their account details, etc. Now, I've got another video on the channel where you can learn how I built this particular dashboard that you're looking at. You can see here, kind of goes back to my discussion about how it works well with Thrive. I've built this in Thrive, which is a theme and page builder, as well as a digital product platform, if you're not familiar with it. Essentially, this part, though, here, everything with my orders, everything in this right column here, is part of SureCart. And you can customize this using the WordPress block builder and apply it to a template. Now, here's what I love about this particular page. So yes, it has all of the order history and information right at the customer's fingertips, right when they log into your site. They can get their order history. They can see any subscriptions that they're currently on that they have active. I'll show actually an account of mine where I've got some test data here for you in just a little bit when we go over another one of the features that I love about this. But like they can access their downloads too. Like imagine if, like in this example, from myself, I bought the design packs that I sell. So user can come right in here, click on their downloads that they've purchased, and download them. They can update their account details, and then you can customize this right here. I've added a support section where someone can fill out the form and get support. It's like a ticket system that I just integrate right with my dashboard. And then I added a section for archived orders. Before I used SureCart, I used ThriveCart, and ThriveCart had this was one of, I think, my biggest complaints about ThriveCart, is that they had a customer hub that you had to have hosted on their platform that the customer couldn't actually log into. They had to like request a password and ThriveCart would email them. It's one of the things that I disliked about ThriveCart. So I'm critical of that component. So I still include a link back to my customer hub for ThriveCart. Like if I click on it, you'll see it takes right to it's semi-branded. It says Customer Hub powered by ThriveCart. And they enter in their email, they get a link, and they can log in. So it's okay. It's not terrible. It works fine. They can view their purchase history and update their information, like their credit card and stuff. So I've included a link to that right from my Customer Hub for customers that were before my SureCart, my transition over to SureCart. So you could do something similar like this if you're considering moving over to SureCart. Works pretty well. My customers haven't complained about it at all. And technically, in the past, because it was so inaccessible, I ended up having to do most of the management for the customer myself. The only thing I couldn't manage for them was updating their credit card information, which I think is also another big deal. However, you can do it if you're on SureCart. The customer just comes in right here, goes to their payment methods section, and adds a new payment method. It's super, super simple. Another feature that I love so much about SureCart, and that's the ability for your customers to not only see their plans, right? This is what I mentioned previously. I can click into the plan. In this particular example, my demo account here has access to my community membership, which is basically a community that I have that you can pay to get access to. And these are some of the plans that I have here. So this particular user is on the quarterly plan for $120 every 3 months, which is a discount over the monthly, and then they have the annual, which is a discount over that. So the feature that you're looking at right here in SureCart is called upgrade groups. Upgrade groups allow your users to move between pricing levels inside of a product or within different products. So you could have product A and product B, and the user could move between them freely. And it's something that the user can do entirely themselves versus you having to get involved. So in this particular example, it's just one product with different price tiers, but look how easy it is if I were to say, you know what, quarterly, 120 every 3 months, I want to save more and I want to move to the Convology Community annual plan. I just click next, and you'll see what's going to happen here. It's going to remember back, one of the first things I loved about SureCart was the subscription billing term settings. You can see here that it says you will be switched over to this plan immediately. Why? Because it's an upgrade. And in doing so, you can see here that there's a proration credit applied to the account. This particular demo account had been a quarterly customer long enough that they still had $29.95 left in credit for that billing term, but I'm going to upgrade them immediately so that I can be paid $392 and they can move to an annual plan. So it's going to say right here on this payment method, which the customer can edit, they have a total due of $362.05, and this is going to be $392 a year. So in year 2, they're going to pay the full price, but today, because they have the credit, they only pay $362.05. That's a fantastic system, because what's also equally cool is I can come back here to the plans and I can say I also want to, or I want to downgrade instead. So I'll move from quarterly to monthly, click on that, and check this out. So it's going to say you'll be switched at the end of the billing cycle, right? We went over that previously as well. And it's going to say Look, on June 24th, which at the time of making this video is 23 days away, June 24th, you're going to start paying $49, but not until then, because you still have you've still already paid for an active period of time, and we're not going to charge you today. This right here, so cool, does not exist. Haven't seen it anywhere to this level in any of the tools that I use that would integrate with my workflow and my tech stack. So this is phenomenal, and I'm seeing it used in my business regularly by my customers who like to have control over their subscriptions. And what's really cool, and I might make a tutorial on this in the future, let me know if you want me to, where you can have a free level. So you can let people sign up for a free account. And if you come back here to the plan section, you might have a section that says free, and it has no charge associated with it. And the user can move to the free plan. And what's going to happen is they're only going to get access to the free stuff. When they move to a paid plan, they can access to the paid stuff. So if you'd like a tutorial on that, let me know. But otherwise, this right here is one of my absolute favorite features inside of SureCart. Remember, it's called Upgrade Groups. And I also show you how to do all of that inside of my SureCart course. Now, if you haven't picked up on it yet or you're new to the channel, I do want to say that Thrive Suite is an integral part of my business. I run everything for my digital product and membership through Thrive Apprentice, which manages access to content that members get access to when they join. And part of using that is, well, I need to make a connection between the tool I'm using to sell something and Thrive Apprentice. And that brings me to this next thing I love about SureCart is that they made an integration directly with Thrive Autometer, which is a tool that kind of sits at the heart of Thrive Suite, mostly Thrive Apprentice, because that's one of the things that you need to communicate a lot of data to. And Thrive Autometer is like a Zapier specifically geared towards Thrive Suite, although it can do more than just Thrive Suite now. But essentially, I love the fact that they created such a fantastic integration, and I was a part of helping to shape that. I pushed really hard to make sure that this was something native with SureCart, and the team at SureCart made it happen. So I'm super grateful to them for that. But it's super easy, as you can see here on my screen. Essentially, whenever somebody buys one of my courses or something through a checkout in SureCart and they need to get access to something on my Thrive Apprentice website, this handles everything. And if I were to add a new one, let me just show you how this works. It's super simple. And I've got videos on this on the channel, but this is just to show you how cool it is. Essentially, you choose SureCart as your trigger, and you can say when a product or purchase subscription is purchased. You can say only trigger based on specific products, and then you can go and choose your product. We'll just choose community membership. We can click done, and then you say, well, what happens then? What's really cool about this particular integration is that we already know who the customer is, because going back just a few steps in this video, we talked about the user creates their account already. So the account's been made. We don't have to match it to anybody. We know who they are. We just come in here and say, what do I want to do? I want to give them access to Thrive Apprentice. I grant them access to a product, and I grant them access to community membership, because that's what we're talking about. And we're good to go. And then from there, I can do crazy things, like I can even come in and add them into an email tool that I have. Like I can add them in my autoresponder. I can add them to like ActiveCampaign or Fluent CRM, et cetera, et cetera. And Thrive Automator is completely free. So essentially you have SureCart and a completely free way without the need for Zapier. What are the other ones? Make, Integromat, Pabbly. You don't need any of those. You just use Thrive Automator. And because SureCart built this integration, you're good to go. The connection is completely seamless. So those are some of the biggest reasons, not all of them, but some of the biggest reasons why I made the switch over to SureCart from ThriveCart, and why I chose SureCart instead of other tools that are available on the market. And again, I do want to stress and emphasize that SureCart is not perfect. SureCart has plenty of features it's still missing that are, at the time of creating this video, still to come. But hopefully you can see that based on what I've shown you, the stuff that they are creating and the product that they are creating is top tier. Everything that I've wanted to do in the past with ThriveCart and WooCommerce and haven't been able to do, I can do now with SureCart. And everything that I was able to do with those other tools, I can already do with SureCart, and there's more to come. If you have any questions about SureCart, something maybe you're not sure if it can do, or if you would like more information to make that decision, if it's a right fit for you and your business moving forward, feel free to leave a comment down below. And don't forget, I'm also going to include a link that tells you what you get as a bonus if you choose to pick up and move to SureCart through my affiliate link. I do have that course called Thrive with SureCart. It's a full SureCart setup tutorial, as well as a lot of information on how to integrate with Thrive Suite, which is the suite of tools that I use to run my business.